And as they know, I'm very disturbed by that because we're helping them and they're going and buying oil and gas from Russia. So that question could be really asked maybe more accurately if you talked about many European countries, not Hungary necessarily, because Hungary is in a different position. But many European countries are buying oil and gas from Russia, and they have been for years. And I said, what's that all about, right? Thank you. Yeah.
So that will be one of the issue for today, to explain clearly what would be the.
मैं आपको एक शॉर्ट इंट्रोडक्शन देना चाहूँगा जो विक्टर ऑर्बान है, प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ हंगरी। और हंगरी एक लैंड लॉक कंट्री है, मतलब उसके पास कोई समुंदर नहीं है या कोस्टल लाइन नहीं है, इसलिए वो बहुत डिपेंडेंट कंट्री है जो रशिया की तरफ ज़्यादा झुकती है। कारण ये है कि उसके वो गैस लेनी होती है और क्रूड लेना होता है। तो ये छोटा पिक्चर है हंगरी के बारे में। और एक बात, विक्टर ओरबान मई 2010 से वो प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैं और इसको कहते हैं इनकम्बेंट प्राइम मिनिस्टर, यानी अभी तक वो इलेक्शन हारे नहीं है। और वो एक स्ट्रॉन्ग नेशनलिस्ट हैं, वो अपने कंट्री के बारे में सोचते हैं और उनके व्यूज़ बहुत विपरीत हैं यूरोपियन यूनियन के जो दूसरे देश हैं उनके विरुद्ध है। जैसे कि प्रेसिडेंट उर्सुला वॉन हैं, उनके बहुत क्लैश होते रहे ये EU काउंसिल की मीटिंग्स में। और जो माइग्रेंट के रिलेटेड जो पॉलिसीज़ हैं जो सीरिया से आते हैं और भी देशों से आते हैं, वो उसको अलाउ नहीं करते अपनी कंट्री में आने से। और उनकी जो ये सोच है वो विरुद्ध है जो यूरोपियन यूनियन के जो मेजर देश सोचते हैं। तो ये इनका शॉर्ट इंट्रोडक्शन है।
Consequences for the Hungarian people and for the Hungarian economy not to get oil and gas from Russia because we are supplied by pipelines. Pipeline is not an ideological or political issue, it's a physical reality because we don't have port, exactly as the President explained to you. So we will negotiate on that point. It's vital for us anyway.
Mr. Orban, there are two pipelines, as I understand it. There's a pipeline from Ukraine and there's a pipeline from Croatia. And my understanding is that the pipeline from Croatia can provide all of Hungary's energy needs. As a result, why would you need an exemption if that's the case?
Okay. So when we discuss that issue, you should separate the gas and the oil. On the gas issue, which is very important for us, 90% of the Hungarian households based on heating system based on gas. So we have only one pipeline delivering gas to Hungary, which is the main pipeline, the Turkish one. What we got from Croatia is a very small volume supplementary gas pipeline. Okay, that's gas. Oil is another issue. So oil is coming from the Druzhba pipeline, which is the main supply, and that is a Croatian one, which is the secondary and supplementary pipeline. We would like to convince the Croatian government to enlarge it and make it possible to deliver more. Under these circumstances, it cannot be the main pipeline. It's just supplementary. But later on, with some big investments, it could serve better the interest of Hungary.
यहाँ विक्टर ऑर्बान कहना चाहते हैं कि वो लैंडलॉक कंट्री है और उनके पास जो गैस और ऑयल आता है वो रशिया से आता है, जो मेजर पाइपलाइन जैसे उन्होंने भी डिस्कशन में बताया। तो ये बताना चाहते हैं वो काफ़ी डिपेंडेंट है रशिया के ऊपर। तो शॉर्ट में ये बात है।
Are you from Hungary?
Yes, I am.
I figured. The fact is that he's a great leader, and he's respected all over. Not necessarily liked by some of the leaders, but you know those leaders have proven to be wrong. If you look at his stance on immigration and other things, you know, if you look at Europe, they've made tremendous mistakes on immigration. It's really hurting them very badly. He has not made a mistake on immigration. So he's respected by everybody. He's liked by some. And I can tell you, I like and respect. I'm a double. I like and respect him. And that's the way Hungary is being led. They're being led properly. And that's why he's going to be very successful in his upcoming election.
यहाँ डोनाल्ड ट्रंप तारीफ कर रहे हैं विक्टर ऑर्बान की और कह रहे हैं कि वो क्यों सक्सेसफुल प्राइम मिनिस्टर रहे हैं, क्योंकि उनकी जो इमिग्रेंट्स की जो पॉलिसी रही है बहुत अच्छी रही है जो यूरोप के विरुद्ध रही है।
Language is important because the Anglo-Saxon terminology is different from the European one. So to use categories can create some misunderstanding. So I would like to be clear as much as we can. We are the only government in Europe which consider itself as a modern Christian government. All the other governments in Europe are basically liberal leftist governments. So we try to do something from 2010 which is different from what the others are doing, even at the philosophical level and at the level of practice as well, as just the President described it, like migration. So we are kind of a special island of difference in a liberal ocean in Europe. And we consider ourselves as a modern Christian government. That's the proper category to describe what we are doing.
To both of you, to both of you.
Would that happen in Budapest?
We're talking, but we'll report on that later. Meetings with Putin. We were talking about that with Victor. He understands Putin and knows him very well. And I feel that, I mean, I'm going to let you say what you think, but I think that Victor feels we're going to get that war ended in the not too distant future. Victor, do you want to talk about that?
Well, I'm strongly convinced. So the question is whether we Westerners are unified or not. The problem is that the President has huge peace efforts, which are just splendid and very positive for the European continent and all the peoples of Europe. But at the same time, we are not unified because Brussels and the Europeans has a different approach to the war.
और इनके काफ़ी अच्छे रिलेशन पुतिन के साथ भी हैं, जो इंटरमीडिएट बन जाते हैं कई बार, क्योंकि कुछ बहुत एंटी रशियन होते हैं, जो होते हैं क्या हैं इनफैक्ट काफ़ी बहुत सारे नेशन, चाहे वो यूके की बात करो, चाहे फ्रांस, चाहे जर्मनी, स्पेन और भी बहुत देश आप गिनते हैं, तो वो अगेंस्ट हैं रशिया के, और ये थोड़ा माइल्ड स्टांस लेते हैं और वो बहुत प्रैक्टिकल इंसान है। तो ये इसके बारे में कहना चाहूँगा। और रोटेटिंग प्रेसिडेंसी थी इनके पास जुलाई 2024 से लेकर दिसंबर 24 तक, जिसमें इन्होंने काफ़ी ऐसे एजेंडा मूव किए थे कि वॉर ख़त्म हो जाए, परंतु ये सक्सेसफुल नहीं हो सके। तो आगे देखते हैं कि इनकी मीटिंग में आगे क्या हो रहा है।
So the only pro-peace government is the United States government and the small Hungary in Europe anyway. All the other governments prefer to continue the war because many of them think that Ukraine can win on the front line, which is a misunderstanding of the situation. So it's a complicated issue. We will discuss it. It requests not just 2 minutes to respond to your question, but rather than our lecture. Sorry, not to continue more than that.
To both of you.
So you would say that
that
Ukraine cannot win that war?
Miracle can happen.
डोनाल्ड ट्रंप पूछते हैं कि यूक्रेन वॉर जीत नहीं सकता। उनका जवाब रहा विक्टर ऑर्बान का, कोई अजूबा होगा तो ही जीतेगा।
Well, I think they should respect Hungary and respect this leader very, very strongly because he's been right on immigration. Look what's happened to Europe with the immigration. They have people flooding Europe all over the place, and it's hurting it. It's the crime rates are way up. A lot of bad things are happening. His crime rates are very low. They're the same as they always were, which is very little crime because he's kept it the way it should be. Europe, I mean, I don't want to go into individual countries. They're all friends of mine, everyone, as you know. In the
डोनाल्ड ट्रंप कह रहे हैं कि हंगरी में क्राइम रेट कम क्यों है? कारण ये है कि उनकी स्ट्रॉन्ग एंटी इमिग्रेंट पॉलिसीज है।
In NATO, they voted to go from 2% to 5%, and that nobody thought that was possible. And we had just about almost, other than Spain, a unanimous vote. No, I think that I think they respect him a lot. They don't agree with him, but actually, inwardly, I think they probably do agree. He was right on immigration. They were wrong. They are flooding Europe with people from all over the world, and Europe is becoming a different place. And I tell the leaders all the time, you better stop or you're not going to have Europe anymore. It's a very dangerous thing they're doing.
May I have a reflection on that? So on migration issue, just for clarification, in Hungary, the number of illegal migration is like that, zero. Because we have a crystal clear system. If somebody would like to come to Hungary, first he should ask for that. If he gives the permission, they can step in. Nobody can step on the territory of Hungary without having a permission from the Hungarian authorities. This is the regulation, simple, well working. What is the consequence of that? We are under sanctions, financial sanctions of European Union, because we don't let the illegal migrations to come to Hungary and to the European Union as well. So we have to pay, just to inform you, we have to pay every day €1 million as a punishment to the Brazilian budget. because we stopped the migrants. This is the absurd world we are living now in Europe.
We're getting them all out. We're getting them out. He doesn't have that problem, but Europe does have that problem. Other parts of Europe have that problem. So, I tell them all the time, I stick up for Viktor Orban. Not a lot of people do because in many cases they're jealous. They wish they did what he did. They would have no problems if they did what he did.
That time, the name of the United States president would have been Donald Trump. There would be no war between Ukraine and Russia. That's clear. But what we are speaking about here is more than that, because without the pressure coming from the United States government, I'm speaking 2022, the Europeans would not take that hard line what they have today on the war. Remember that big countries of Europe rejected to be involved more than just sending some, humanitarian issues. So the pressure coming from the United States to be more pro-war in Europe. So that's the fact of the history anyway. So we have to restore something which was ruined and created from here, and that's the reason why I understand absolutely the devotion of the president now to do everything to stop the war, because that would be not that deep without the previous government pressure from here. So the reason why I'm here to be as much as helpful I can to contribute to the peace efforts of the president, because that was an enormous mistake what we have done, the Western world several years ago, and we have to stop it, and it's common responsibility.
Biden actually pushed for that war to happen. Okay, if you can believe it. Nobody can believe it, but
यहाँ दोनों लीडर्स कह रहे हैं कि जो रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर हुआ है उसके लिए जिम्मेवारी बाइडेन गवर्नमेंट की, और यूरोप को भी इस वॉर में घसीटने वाली बाइडेन सरकार थी, और वो विक्टर ओरबान कभी नहीं चाहते थे कि वॉर हो. और
it's one of those things. And now look what happened. Look what's happened to Ukraine. It's a much smaller country. A lot of people are dead. You take a look at it's a whole different world over there. And Russia has not been helped very much by that war either. They lost a tremendous number of soldiers and people. Look, that war should have been a 1 week war. I don't know why it's taken. This is 4 years. Should have been 1 week. Should have been over with, but it would have never started. Should have never started. You mean a meeting with President Putin?
Yes.
You mean in Hungary? Well, I'd like to keep it in Hungary, in Budapest. That meeting, it turned out I didn't want to do that meeting because I didn't think anything was going to be happening of significance. But if we have it, I'd like to do it in Budapest. Yeah, it'd be good.
Thanks for watching. आपकी सपोर्ट हमें और बेहतर जानकारी लाने के लिए प्रेरित करती है. लाइक करें, शेयर करें और सब्सक्राइब करना न भूलें. फिर मिलेंगे अगले वीडियो में.